What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be looking at SHINee with everybody. And the first thing I thought of, man, Backstreet Boys with everybody. Yeah. Either way, it's going to be a really cool video to analyze. Let's see what it's all about. And like always, guys, if you do enjoy the content you see, all you have to do is make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and of course, make sure to get your Fuku items right now with 50% discount using the link below and of course the code. I'll see you in the review and analysis of Everybody by SHINee. Man, it's actually really nice to be back in the SHINee world. It's been a while since I looked at them, and it's also sad that in one video I said, yeah, we're running out of SHINee content, but that's actually not true. There's a lot to look at yet, and I'm happy that you guys are actually supporting with that. So let's start and see what it's all about, actually. Man, that is some creepy stuff. Like, this is not meant for a kid. Like, that would scare the crap out of any young person, I would presume, no? I mean, this is just creepy as anything. But they really capture it well. It really looks a bit scary. Really cool. Wait, dubstep? I mean, this is the era of Skrillex, so I can understand the music type. But the one thing that I understand about the music as well is that they're trying to create different scenes as if it's a little bit scary. And there are some elements that I think are great and they really give this eerie feeling. For example, that kid with the black eyes. But then they also have some really weird CGI clones in it. Where was that? Let's have a look in it. Like this element, I don't really understand why that would be scary. It's not the most scariest, I would say. Like, this is so much better. Again, I'm happy that this is the past and they're working on the future, making and using less CGI. But this is how you should do things. You know, this is how everything just looks great. And this would also hold up today, actually, like these kind of shots. It's so weird. Wait, is that bird even flying upside down? That bird is even flying upside down. Like, how many of you guys actually noticed that? This is, let's see what this is about, actually. That is really cool. This idea of a small kid picking up a big plug, sticking it into the wall. So far, the effects and the elements that we see in the video are really, really good. You know, visually, it's really pleasing and it gives a really weird effect. The only thing that is a little bit off-putting is maybe the tempo of the beat because it is quite quick and the cuts are quite slow. Man, what a time this must have been to be living in the K-pop world. Like, I'm just curious if this is actually something that you guys really enjoyed or not. Like, give me your opinion as well on this video. That was really a cool shot. So let's watch it again, analyze it. So what this is basically an array of cameras going around. They're basically having a look and taking pictures all at the same time, basically, and constant pictures, and it gives like this 360 effect. So this is how they did it in the past, and they still do it today. It's not as smooth as today because they basically perfectionized this effect over the years, but it's really cool to see this. You know, this was really ahead of its time, actually. Very nice. Everybody. Yeah. Actually, I know the song and I really enjoy it. Like, the song itself is, how do you call it? It's something that stays stuck in your head, if you know what I mean. It's also interesting to see how SHINee actually went slowly out of these studio kind of scenes where you know it's 100% studio and they're trying to mimic more realistic places to film. In other words, now they're still in studios, but they're trying to mimic like real locations, train stations, houses. It's an interesting progress, you know, to see where they started and where they are right now. Another thing that I noticed that is great about the video is that I thought the background was a little bit distracting, but then if I realized it a little bit nicer, it has the SHINee color, that aquamarine color, that aqua blue color. Very nice. Again, we know that it's SHINee, and on top of that, everything else is black while they are wearing white. It's a very nice contrast, and you can see a clear difference between the background and foreground, aka all the SHINee members. This is more or less a performance style video, you know? You know, guys, go. I paused it. Hold up, was that Taman topless? No way. I have never seen a shot like this. Like, I heard in a lot of videos that I've watched that back then showing skin was more or less the thing back then. But this is a really cool shot by itself. It's because the light reflects onto the black fur, giving it these kind of, what is it, like small hints of light on the fur. You know, the hair is slowly illuminated, and it creates these kind of effects that we can see here. It's very nice in contrast to the black background. And on top of that, that pale skin, and I have to say pale, that white skin in contrast as well to the black background. Really, really nice. It's also interesting what we see here with the chess. Is this maybe where Taman got the inspiration from with advice? Because there were also chess pieces on the cover, but they never actually came to the MV. So I'm happy that they are in the MV here actually. Very nice. That is so cool. A lot of zoom in, zoom out, and then it plays with perspectives. Let's look at that again. I mean, for back then, you have to remember that editing was still a big progress. You know, YouTube only came out like 2007, 2008, if not 2008, 100% sure. But that's only 3 years, you know, or I don't know how old this video is. It's like only a couple of years before this video came out. So editing back then was still something that was complicated, but now it's really just shows that with a bit of creativity, keeping it simple, you can pull off some really cool effects. It's nice to see and appreciate. Look at this. You know, just laying or loading videos on top of each other, playing with zooms, with depth. It's just really nice. They really love softening the faces still, which I'm still not a big fan of. Wait, were they holding each other while doing like a moonwalk kind of thing? That is so cool, guys. Give them some credit. Man, that's awesome. Do you also hear the sound effects? Let's go back to it again. So maybe you didn't pick it up yet, but this is something you hear quite often in MV. But just listen when it starts zooming away from one of the members. Let's see. Do you hear that? The moment it moves away, it seems as if it gives a bit of weight to the transition or to this movement of the camera moving backwards. It's as if it's a massive stone slowly going away from this member. Really nice. You can just see how important the lighting on the studio set is also, and all the reflections. Man, this is a really fun video though, purely because of the choreography. Another thing that you can notice here is that they basically also use a lot of wide shots. And again, when they're dancing, it's very easy just to see where everyone is standing. Everyone is in white. Everything is synchronized to one another. It really just shows that SHINee is a group. And everyone has a little bit of their own moments, you know, which is great because I still think that's great if you can show a little bit of everyone's strengths. Everyone is a little bit unique. They show, for example, Key and the way he's wearing unique clothes. In one of the scenes, he was wearing something that was fluffy. I've not seen it being worn by anyone else in the MV, and it just shows again a little bit of a style side from him, which is nice. And then you have Taman wearing this, you know, he's coming a little bit more into this, hey, look at me, I'm a bad boy type of guy. It's really, really nice to see these small little characteristics and how they're trying to showcase this in an MV. And also all the shots itself are nice and wide. Like here, for example, everyone is captured nicely, and again you see the camera moving in the choreography, which is nice to look at. That is so cool. So a big question is, how do you think... One sec, we have to go there. How do you think they actually filmed this? Now, I have a presumption that they either had a small RC car and they have a camera on it and it drove through it, but what it can also be is basically a camera with a bit of a zoom lens, and it's quite far away. So basically it's coming closer, and then we get this effect as well. And both are possible. It's very interesting, again, how they did this, and it looks really nice. Again, it's just playing with perspective, which is really cool. Really cool. And this choreography is awesome. Is it me, or is this maybe the best choreography from SHINee? Like, what do you guys actually think? Do you think it's a good choreography, an amazing choreography, or maybe even think it's a terrible choreography? If you do think so, then please just make sure to put it down below, because we want to analyze your thoughts as well. Man, this is a great video. It just gets your energy going, you know? Everybody. Brr, brr, brr. Really cool. Really enjoy this video. And the main reason is why I like it. It's not because it's SHINee or because of the choreography. It's just how they captured it visually. It's just so interesting how they made every scene look so unique from one another. Even though it's more or less all in this tunnel where there's this black on top of it and we have the shiny colors, they still try to capture it and make it unique purely because of the way the cameras hold all the different angles, and they add small little hints of them all being in their own little element, which is cool, and they keep every second interesting. You are willing to see the next part over and over again. And that is what you want. You want to create a lust when looking at an MV, because the moment people lose interest at maybe 1 minute, they will turn off the video. But here, they really did a great job with making sure that the video is as enticing as possible, you know, for us, the consumer. It's also nice to see the younger versions, you know, like, think about it. This was 10 years ago. 10 years. A century ago. Oh, I didn't even notice that, but that is also something that is very nice. So you guys see this tunnel here, though? Oh, here you can see it better. So this is a tunnel. It's basically an arch, but I thought it was actually a proper tunnel because it just continues, for example, over here. But that's all because of the reflection. Like I say, reflections are so cool at making the world look bigger, making the sets look more transparent. And this just continues the illusion as if they're really in a tunnel. Spot on here. Very nice. A little bit of a CGI effect going on there, which again is very simple, but it's nice. Wow, that's actually a really simple but cool logo. You know, it's only 5 boxes, and we all know what that's about. You know, 5 for SHINee. Man, this is a really good MV. And the reason why I think it's a good MV is because it just keeps you interested in what is going to come next. And I'm not saying this is the most exclusive MV because it has the nicest studio or anything like that. It just knows how to keep you guys interested. It kept me interested. All the nice angles. There's nothing to talk about when it comes to anything that's bad. Again, I'm not a big fan of, for example, the CGI at the end. I know that it's still in the color of SHINee, but it's not really needed. It doesn't really do anything, and it just pulls away a little bit of the reality. It's not 100% nice, but it is its own thing, and I like what they did here. For cinematography, this is really a 10 out of 10. And again, the color grade for back then, it's a little bit washed out, but this used to be the trend for back then as well. You can see this in a lot of videos. Even BTS, for example, had this. A lot of groups had this, and that's okay. You know, if this was what they had and this is what they had, they all just follow trends. And like I say in many of my videos, we have to consider that this is actually a business, and it's not always the artist deciding what they want to do. It's also a little bit like, hey, we have to do this because the market is telling us to do it. So it's a very interesting way on how they perceived all of this and put it into a video. Really interesting, actually. But now the question is, what do you guys actually think of the video? Do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? If yes, then tell me in the comments below. And of course, if you don't, tell me in the comments as well, because I'm interested about your comments. And guys, if you have any recommendations on videos you want me to check out next, then please just put them in the comments below. I would love to hear them. And of course, guys, argue between each other down below. The chat is open. The comments are open. And guys, if you did enjoy, of course, as well, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And I'll see you on the next video. And hey, who knows? Maybe it's one of your recommendations. So I'll see you then.